So you mentioned before that oftentimes people come in with big lists of things that they want to work on. So how do you decide what to work on first?
Okay. All
First.
right. Well, actually, when we were talking before, sometimes they come with a written list or a mental list.
Right,
But
sure.
when I start a session with the person, I don't take that list. I don't do that. When I work with a person, I'm going to ask them the one question I always ask when I start a session is, what do you want to work on?
Okay.
What do you want to take up? What's bugging you? Something like that. And then they're going to tell me what they tell me. And sometimes it's one thing, and away we go. But sometimes they do give me a list of several things. And sometimes those several things are in a whole package of figuring and thinking about it and upset about it, that might go on for 15 minutes. Well, and this has really been bothering me, and Joe told me, they're telling me things that other people have said, and in other words, they're over answering my question. I just asked them what I want to work on, and they're giving me these things, but they're all within this dialogue. Well, that's okay. I want them to get it out. It's almost something I used to call draining the cesspool. You just get them to talk and just get it all out of them. This in itself is therapeutic.
Mm.
Because I'll even ask once they're done, is there anything else? And then I might get another few minutes of this. But in that whole thing, I am listening for the question I ask them, what do you want to work on? And I'm listening for those nuggets, those unwanted, those conditions, those issues within all that other talking, which is fine that it's
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
So I'm listening for those. It's kind of like you have like a sleuth and you're looking for the gold nuggets. Those are them. And I'm writing them down exactly how the person gave it to me. In whether it's proper English or not, I don't care. I'm writing it down, whether it makes sense I don't ask them to clarify anything. I'm writing down what they said in their words. And when they're done, I might have a list of, say, 10 things. I might. Okay. Now,
Okay.
then it's just a matter of we have to settle on, we can't take them all up at once. We have to settle on one thing. So I'll say, when they're done, I'll say, okay, you gave me a list of several things here. I'd like to read them back to you, and you tell me of these things, what's the most important to take up first. And I'll read through it, and then they'll settle on something. They do. Okay, and then say, oh, and number 3 there, that's it. That's the one. That's the most important to take up. And now we're ready to go. Now we're ready to go on that. Okay, and
Okay.
that's how we start a session. But then it's a matter of what do I do with the rest of that list?
Mm.
Well, usually I don't have to think. There's nothing to think about in that session because we're working on that one thing, and we get to a point where that's resolved or they feel great about that. That's a pretty good point to end the session
Mm-hmm.
because I'm going to try to take every session I do to what I call a good point.
Mm.
And I'll always ask them, is it a good point? A lot of times I can tell, but I'll
Mm.
always ask because you don't want to go things too long or things tend to grind and
Mm.
you don't want that. So once it's at a good point, that's a good point to end off. Unless the person, it's always an individual thing. Most of the time, that's where we're ending off when we're done with that issue.
Sure.